I want to start by bringing up my method to even approach writing anything on the project or sequencing anything on my track. Many people that I see working sometimes are doing something that I can't really relate to. They will instantly, when they start a track, they will start bringing up like the perfect synth track. They'll start like crafting the sound with this perfect snare sound and perfect bass sound or whatever. And they'll spend a lot of time kind of crafting this and getting the feel out of that. While for me, the feel will come from the writing and will come from, where the notes are or where the melody is. I like to have that even before I start, the production aspect of things. So I'm going to show what I do to approach writing and to approach, creating the track even before I have anything. So I'm going to come in. This is the first screen I get when I see Cubase. Usually starts on recent and shows my recent projects. But I'm going to go here to more and just build an empty track. I'm going to double click empty. And I got this empty track, which is what we all see, when we start a project. And I'm going to just start by picking a very clean sounding, kind of a basic band or some sort. So I'm going to pick like a drums, I'm going to pick a bass, maybe an harmonic element, which is going to be like a keyboard or something, and a melody. And that's going to be just the basics I'm going to use to express my idea. So I could just go here to devices and click VST instruments or F11. And I have the list of blank VST instruments here. I'm going to start by selecting a drum kit. I usually use something like BFD2, which is a very powerful drum sampler, but I just used it for sketching because I found just a basic kind of clean sounding Yamaha kit, which I like. So I'm going to bring it up. Do you want to create a MIDI track assigned? Yes, I'm going to create it. So you see it created this MIDI track right on the left side. And now I'm going to come here to BFD and just load a kit. I'm going to come here, load kit. And I'm going to scroll down to a preset that I just used, which is this Yamaha preset. I'll let it load up. But just like I'm using this, you can use Groove Agent 1 or anything else that's just basic and clean sounding. So as you'll see, I have this drum set here. I can play it. So I have a bass drum, I have a snare, I have all my toms, I have the ride, I have some crashes, and I have my hi-hat. It's all very basic sounds. They can sound very good if I'm going to process them and try to make something out of them, but I'm not even going to go there right now. I'm just going to stick to what it is and keep on with writing the part. The next thing I'm going to add is a little bass part. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to pick this synthesizer that I have called Waves Element. So I'm going to go over here, create the new track for it. It opened up. And I'm just going to use this bass preset that I have, which is kind of a basic sawtooth bass. I'm going to play it in a little bit. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close my drum VST. And I'm going to put in something for a melody. So I'm going to go here, pick another Waves element, create this here, and pick this melody. My last thing that I usually add is my harmony track. So I'm going to go here and go to Hellion, which comes built in with Cubase. Create a track for that. And I'm just going to pick like a Wurlitzer sound or anything that's closer to like an electric piano. That's something I'm very comfortable with. So I'll pick this amplified Wurly sound. So now I have all these elements, my 4 tracks, lined up here on the left side as MIDI tracks. They also lined up here as VST tracks, which I don't need at the moment. So I'm going to make them go away by closing the folders. And I'm just going to give them names. This first one was drums. The second one was a bass. The third one was a melody. And the last one was an electric piano, E piano. So this is just a basic lineup for what I have. I'm going to select them and kind of make them larger so I can see them. So with the drums, if I go and right click and click draw, I can just start drawing something and drawing some MIDI notes. But when I get in here, what I see is all these notes, which are relevant for pitched instruments, but not really for drums. So I'm going to go and change this to a general MIDI map, which will help me see the names of the drums, which is way more of the way I see drums, not really as C or D notes as I would see, in the bass or in the keys. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to select here. You see I have in the left side no drum map, so I'm going to change that to GM map. And when I go inside, I'm going to see my little drum map here. Move that over here, and I can just sequence the notes in. So if I'm going to pick my drumstick and have a bass drum here, I could draw that. Right? I can have my side stick to this row. I have my snare. And that's just a way that I like to see things, so that makes things very visual for me. I see that and I really see the part that I'm writing. So I'm going to select that and erase all of those and go back to the bass track. You'll see that in my bass sound, if I'm going to draw something like here, I will have all the notes. I can make them a little larger by using this little minus plus zoom on the right side. That's nicer. Maybe an octave higher, C2. Oh, here you go. So I can sequence my own little sequence here. It's very basic, but it allows me to focus on the notes and focus on this musical idea that I have.